In this week's short video, I would like to highlight something that I think is a really big deal. So if we look at the stock index futures, particularly the Dow future on the weekly chart, you can see here that we had a Darvas squeeze breakout to the long side on the weekly chart. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is that we were testing, this is a weekly chart of the Dow, and we were testing some of these highs that were put in back in the end of March, beginning of April, back in these levels here. So now what you had was you had a long signal fire with a break of these levels here. So you have this Darvas box in play on the weekly chart, and you have a squeeze firing. Put the two together and you have what I call a Darvas squeeze breakout. And in this case, to the long side, this is a big deal because we are breaking to new highs with a fresh Darvas squeeze weekly signal. So what does that mean? Well, typically that means a multi-week move in the direction of the signal firing. So in this case, if you look back here at the last long signal we had when we broke this Darvas box here, this Darvas squeeze setup, we had a long signal around 12,000 and we pulled all the way back to weekly support at 11,535. So what you had was a 500 point pullback, but ultimately after the signal fired, I should mention, but ultimately what it did was it provided directional bias such that we had a heads up that the market might be going higher even though we were getting an initial pullback. And the market went all the way up to just over 13,000, around 13,200. So we had a signal fire at around 12,000. We had a pullback of about 400 or 500 points in the Dow. And then ultimately that brought us up to 13,200. So 1,000 points higher. So these signals are typically a big deal. We watch them closely. They are multi-week events, and we are looking for this kind of direction higher. And if we look at potential targets, what we're looking at is somewhere around Dow 14,000 if the signal follows through. So that's all I have this week for the Napkin video. Look forward to seeing you at the next update.